friends. How are you? I'm very happy to see you. Greet your neighbor. Boogie on down. Give a bump and turn around. Hello, friend. How are you? I'm very happy to see you. Greet your neighbor. Boogie on down. Give a bump and turn around. Hello, friend. How are you? I'm very happy to see you. Greet your neighbor. Boogie on down. Give a bump and turn around. All right, hello again, friends. It's Miss Nikki with another circle time for you. Well, this month is now November, and so we're going to have a new thing to study. We're moving on to the building study. So, we're going to learn all about buildings and the stuff you need to make them and the different kinds and the things they do or don't do or colors. I don't know. Miss Cindy has a whole thing planned. So, but speaking of that, I actually have a story that has to do with buildings. Three buildings, three houses, actually. But first, we're going to look for the vocab word. Today's vocab word is sugar. You can't tell me you don't know what sugar is. But if you don't, it's a white crystal that's used to make food and drinks a little bit sweeter. So you put it in cookies, cake, Kool-Aid, soda, stuff like that. All those things are very sweet, and that's from sugar. So when we hear the word sugar, what should we do? Should we brush our teeth? I think that's a good idea because all that sugar is bad for your teeth. All right, so here is the book I'm going to read today. And I want you to know that this book I read when I was little. And I loved this book. It was so funny, but so cool at the same time because it was nice to hear somebody else's side of the story. So this book is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs by A. Wolf. This guy. And it's as told by John Skazza and illustrated by Lane Smith. So the illustrator is the person who draws the picture. And this says as told by. That means it's the author, and the author writes the story. But as told by, he wrote it from what Mr. A. Wolf had to say. All right, here we go. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody's ever heard my side of the story. Good point. Good point. There's always two sides to a story. Well, I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheeps and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. That's true. You'd seem like a pretty bad guy if you had a burger made of bunnies. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? That's kind of a long walk, don't you think? So, must be like a farmhouse made out of straw. So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without my cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. Achoo! And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn house of straw fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. It had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little bit better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next door neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Ding dong. Nobody answered, so I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He called back, Go away, Wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I achoo! Sneezed a great big sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open like that. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as like a second helping. But I was getting awfully full. But my cold was feeling a little better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. Mr. Pig, are you in? And you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. How rude. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear old sweet granny's birthday cake? What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe have a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed. Achoo! And I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. That wasn't very nice. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. Look at him dancing, he's so mad. The rest, they say, was history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I'd had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? See? Ah, told you. Funny, funny book. Love it. One of my favorites. Okay. The way Miss Nikki was sitting kind of had her neck in a crick. So let's stretch it out first. Ugh. Stretch our arms. Okay. We're going to march in place today. How long do you think we should do it for? I'd say 15. Should we count to 15? All right. Ready? Here we go. March it out with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. That was nice. That was pretty easy, right? Sometimes I'm out of breath with our little exercises, but not that one. But while I was marching, I was thinking of something. Would you build your house out of straws, sticks, or bricks? Let me know what you think. I think because I have really bad allergies, I'd be huffing and sneezing like the big bad wolf. So I couldn't use straw. And I think sticks would be uncomfortable, sharp and pokey, and probably scratch you up a little bit. So I probably wouldn't use that either. But bricks, well, I don't know. That sounds uncomfortable too, honestly. So that is today's question of the day. Would you build your house out of straws, sticks, or bricks? So have your grown up hop on to Learning Genie or Remind and send me a little message about what you think you should build your house out of. I'd be curious to find out if everybody thinks that bricks are as good of an idea as the third little pig did. Well, that's all I've got for you today, guys. So we should hop on it and sing our goodbye song. Okay, I'll sing the first part. You sing the second part, remember? Here we go. See you later, alligator.
See you later, alligator.
In a wild crocodile.
In a wild crocodile.
Bye bye, butterfly.
Bye bye, butterfly.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
Time to go, buffalo.
Time to go, buffalo.
Give a hug, ladybug.
Give a hug, ladybug.
Blow a kiss, jellyfish.
Blow a kiss, jellyfish.
Just like that. Fat cat. Take a bow, milk cow.
Take a bow, milk cow.
See you soon, baboon.
See you soon, baboon.
All right, now this time you sing first and I'll copy.
See you later, alligator.
See you later, alligator.
In a wild crocodile.
In a wild crocodile.
Bye bye, butterfly.
Bye bye, butterfly.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
Time to go, buffalo.
Time to go, buffalo.
Give a hug, ladybug.
Give a hug, ladybug.
Blow a kiss, jellyfish.
Blow a kiss, jellyfish.
Just like that.
Fat cat. Take a bow, milk cow.
Take a bow, milk cow.
See you soon, big baboon.
I'll see you soon, big baboon. Oh, I always think that's funny because it sounds like they're calling us big baboons. All right. Well, until next time, friends. Bye.